Good afternoon, guys. Last time I talked to you guys about the most painful way to learn the game. Today I'm telling you guys the saddest way to learn the game, and it just unfortunately happens to be the most popular and probably the most effective way to learn the game. So, everything aside, the way is playing against the AI. Um, Now, this is the most popular way that the game is being studied nowadays, and it is the go-to method for professionals trying to hone their skills. Needless to say, if it's good enough for the professionals, it is good enough for you and me, and it is good enough for the beginners of the game as well. Now, exactly how are we learning by using the AI or playing against the AI? The most common way, the number one step, is to use the AI in your game reviews. This game is a good example, and so here this was a tournament game that I recently played in New England, in Massachusetts. And this is using OGS. I have a paid version of OGS. The admins gave me a AI-enabled version, so when I do demonstrations, demo boards, it allows me to do this. For you guys, go to aisensei.com. It will be a totally free way to also have the same capability. You can play the AI, you can upload a game, and then it will also show you some of the good blue moves. This is where the AI comes from. Card Train is another one, and there are a whole bunch of different software, free and paid for, that you can use. Okay, so I have one. It's not so important whichever one you use. The important thing is that it is being used. So use the AI to review your games is the number one first step to using the AI to help us improve in Go and learn Go. And this is very common. If you don't have a paid version, for example, you may have to use estimate score, and then you may have to do things like you try a move, and then you'll do the estimate score, weight by 0.1, things like that. A little more detail before we go ahead. Usually the AI that you guys will get is likely very low playouts, and so every time you do this estimate score, while it is AI, it is a little bit random, so it may not be exactly the same every time you click it. And see, when it was 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, that's no problem. Just we're not interested in such minute details anyways. So number one, help us improve by reviewing with the AI. This doesn't sound so painful yet, but remember, the saddest way is to train by playing against the AI. And there are, bots on KGS, bots on Fox, bots on OGS, bots meaning AI-backed accounts, and you can play against those. And of course, you can always play against the computer this way. You can say, what if I play my move here? Is that bad? And where would the AI play? You can basically just play for the AI, always play the blue move. Downside is, of course, it shows you all these things. So maybe we'll disable it, play once, and then enable it and play for the AI, this kind of thing. And of course, OGS, KGS, and AI Sensei, they all have this way that you can play against the AI without having to turn it on and off. Okay, so this is the most common and effective way that people are using to improve, and professionals are using to improve. They'll play against the AI. Maybe they'll find like, man, the game is really troubling for me. Let me back this game up to where I last think I had a chance, and then they would do the play it out from there, and so on. You can imagine a variety of different methods. So next is the most hardcore way to play against the AI, and that is just straight up playing and trying to beat the AI. This is what happens first, and no doubt lots and lots of people have tried this. I am no exception. And so of course there's J something X Katago bots on KGS. I played a bunch of games with those bots. I played with OGS bots. And the thing is, you start losing, right? You lose, then you go to 2 stones and you lose. You go to 3 stones and you lose. Sometimes you win one because the AI is using like 2 playouts, and then it just makes a huge misread, and so on. Anyways, long story short, this is the saddest way because I have a lot of trouble when the opponent plays super fast. I often tend to follow in terms of speed, and so I also play fast. And as you can imagine, I go to 4 stones, I go to 5 stones, I go to 6 stones, and of course you would never go to 6 stones against the opponent, against the AI, if you didn't lose at 5 stones. So you guys fill in the blanks to what happens there. And now you guys see why this is the saddest, most depressing way to learn the game. Ask any professional player 20 years ago about how far do you think you are from perfect play or God or whatever perfect is. Most players would say something like 3 stones. Some players might say 2 stones. Very few would say 4 stones or more. And so fast forward 20 years later, very few people now say anything that's less than 3 because the AI is nowhere close to perfect, and yet people need 3 stones, 4 stones to beat some even top professionals. So this is very sad because it puts you in your place. If typically all players think that they're pretty good at the game, and so once you start losing so badly against the AI, it's you can imagine how depressing this is. And one more piece of bad news. This is also, from what I gather, the main study method used by professionals to study the game. The most famous player who first took to AI study, who first really embraced it, was Xinjian So, or who famously embraced it, and he is now the #1 player in the world. He was close to #1 before he fully embraced AI, but he is now clearly the #1 player in the world, and he is rumored to study 7-8 hours of AI a day. And of course, I imagine that includes a little bit of playing full matches with the AI, playing let me do some takebacks, undos against the AI, and just stuff like this one that we're doing now, just evaluating different moves, like, oh, that's a move, oh, that's a move, that's the blue move. This move, it loses half a point. I wonder why. That's this sort of argument. There's this sort of learning process. Again, so he is widely credited with this, and people widely credit his super strong skills to this. And of course, nowadays, the top players in China also do this, as do the Japanese top professionals. The strongest players in the world everywhere use this method. And this is primarily what I believe is also the reason why you see less professional versus professional matches on Fox nowadays. Even though you still see a lot, there's probably hundreds of pro versus pro matches on Fox every day, probably over 100. So there's still a lot going on, but it's even less than like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, when online play was really the main method to practice. So they're just spending so much time playing against the AI, which is like, if you think about this from another angle, that's also like kind of very, very sad. Everyone is huddled up in front of his or her screen. It's just a very holy, lonely, lonesome, individual experience. And another reason why many people describe this current state of Go, this as very, very, very sad and depressing. The top professionals definitely play a little less on Fox now than before, although they still play on Fox quite a lot. Like Shinjin So, for example, he plays on Fox probably averaging 2-3 games a day. So we talked about how probably very, very widespread and prevalent this is. Do I do this? Well, I stop at step 1, and this is a game review that this is a game review. I entered the record onto my OGS, and remember, I have an AI-enabled account, and I can just flip through like this. You'll also get the same thing if you use AI Sensei or Katrain or some other thing like this, and you can see how much blue moves you're hitting, and some software will have statistics for this as well, and all of that good stuff. And I would ask questions. And remember, before, in this particular case, we were wondering, why is that Atari move like half a point too bad? And that's because later on in this kind of a case, white can extend here in Sente. You can see there's a throw-in, and black is going to connect. And the good thing about this is that this extend gives white one more liberty, and the cut no longer is a threat. So white much more prefers this shape over this shape, over the Atari shape, and because now the cut is a major threat, because white can now only Atari from the second line and so on. So okay. So this is the sorts of things that you can look out for and watch and learn from the AI. It does take some, the stronger you are at the game, the more likely it is that you will pick up very important lessons from this kind of game review. Of course, if you're the weaker you are, this is, the AI might say this cut is the most important thing all the time, and then the two of you would play a whole other game, and then the AI would scream at you to always play the cut. Well, in that case, at least you learned something very important too. There is this one thing that's very, very important. And in a secondary method, of course, you can check so now this is white by 3.3. And so right now it's white by 3.7, okay, but right now it's white by 5. So you can see how you can do this second-handed, which is, I know this is the best move, but if I do this now, I'm plus 5, and if the game happens this way and I make these exchanges, now I still play the same move, I'm only plus 3.5. So the exchanges were unfavorable for white. You can do some deductive logic here and still come up with a lot of good ideas and learning out of that. Okay, so now, do I use this? Do I play the AI and actively try to improve? I tried, but I just could not continue to do this. Why? Well, one, it is so sad and depressing. It made the game so not fun when this is what I do. And so that's the primary reason I was not able to take too much into this kind of training. I played probably 200 blitz games against the KGS Katago bots, the 9-dan bots, and played probably a few dozen games on OGS, all very, very fast blitz games. And when it became pretty apparent that I need 4 or 5, maybe even more stones to reliably beat the AI, I was like, okay, this is making me too depressed, like the cover photo. And so that's when I stopped playing, training myself this way. Of course, I dabbled into this, and even though it's like 100 games, right? It's not very, didn't take that much time, like less than 3 or 4 minutes per game. So it was very, very doable. And it's the primary reason I am not training this way is it's so sad for me. Again, and this brings up the most important thing. This is a very common feeling after the rise of the bots, the rise of AI Go. And of course, it is always connected to the ego. I see myself as a very strong Go player, and losing big handicap games is never any fun. And yes, my ego gets in the way. It makes me feel sad and stuff. All of that stuff. I'm sure you guys will feel very similar emotions. So this brings up the 2016 AlphaGo. That was AlphaGo Lisadou matches. That was the first time that AI finally proved itself to be stronger than the top humans, and it just kept being stronger and stronger as the AI learned. Nowadays, the AI is pretty stable, and so the kinds of strengths that it has over humans is very undisputable. I recently met one good friend of mine who was very, very sad. In fact, at the New England Open, the last tournament I went to, and he told me he hasn't played Go much for the last 7 years or so, ever since all the AIs proved themselves. And because and I think there's some ego here too, where it's like, I really want to play a game that the computers can't beat the humans at. And Go is like the hardest game. It's the last game for the AI to conquer. I remember Texas Hold'em was pretty much beat, but it's not like totally for sure because there's a lot more uncertainty in that. But the AI was beating a lot of humans even without any of this advanced neural network stuff. Okay, that aside, it was just using Nash equilibrium randomization. That aside, back on topic. So after this, a lot of Go players claim that the game is no longer that fun or no longer that useful after AI started beating humans, the best humans, so my friend is no exception. In fact, I know my friend has these emotions because once there was another tournament early on, like 2017 or so, where he said, I admire this player very much because he or she did not play any of the AI's 3-3 invasions. So you can see this is a very widespread emotion reaction that people have. I bet you guys have heard of people who have the same kind of feelings. Anyways, totally understand. I myself, this kind of feeling, I totally understand as well. I myself have been able to study the AI and get myself a lot stronger. And I think, at the end of the day, I do want to play at a higher and higher level. So AI has helped me tremendously with this. So I am grateful in this regard. And so on my end, this will be like a positive development. But there's a lot of different ways people can see this. You can take the rage against the machines, or humanity's last stand approach. You can do the join our new robot overlords approach. You can do all kinds of mixtures in between. And yeah, let me know how you guys feel about this. Anyways, this is a very, very interesting and big topic, and it is the primary method for strong players to improve at the game on. So it has to be said, and I have to tell you guys. And lastly, let me tell you guys some of the pitfalls for this type of study, how to use AI to help you the most. So this game ended here with white winning by resignation. Actually, white winning by timeout. It felt very intentional. I was sitting across the table and black, so it felt like black intentionally played the last move very slow and let the game end this way. Both sides knew that the game was heavily in white's favor. I felt it was more than 22 points, but it was only 22 points, so it was closer than I expected. Some of the pitfalls to watch out for in this kind of thing, we already touched on one trick. That is, if the AI thinks there's one thing that's most important, there are still some differences between the rest of the moves. For example, here there was one moment where here white needed to play this move, and in the game white played this move for almost a 10-point loss, a huge loss, and that was due to white having saw the upper side as a sente move, forcing black to live in gote like this, and then white was gonna play here, and then there's no, certainly there's no life or death issues with the white group. But when black was the first to play on the top, white wasn't able to get this move in sente anymore. Now black is likely able to just capture white with more liberties. If this happened, black would have more liberties than white, and so this is like a sente move that was not able to be gotten, and therefore in the game white had to do something in response to this, and that allowed black to push through and capture 3 stones here. Now during the game, I also felt the same. So in this regard, it's very easy to accept. Like, I thought this was my mistake too. AI thought so too, and that's okay. Sometimes you can be very puzzled at the ordering of things. Like sometimes it wants you to play this sente move right away. Sometimes it's okay to not leave it. So one trick is the best move. You can also take the other good moves and see how much they make or lose, or how much worse than the best moves they are, and so also assign is this a good move, a bad move, or something. Second method, of course, is to study Joseki, and Joseki wise, it's a very AI is very useful. It's even more useful than the Joseki dictionaries because it is a whole board perspective, and so sometimes so it's AI varies itself a lot depending on the surrounding positions, and so you can even get the Josekis, you can get non-Joseki specific shapes, and you can also pick up some ideas, your interpretations, and that of course is very helpful for the openings. Here it most helpful though. AI is very helpful for the middle game, and here is where it's most controversial. You guys hear this following opinion a lot, and that is, this move is good enough for the AI, but you can't handle this situation as a human. You don't know the follow-ups. AI calculates a lot more than you, and therefore you should do what I say, not what the AI says. Of course, whenever you hear someone say You shouldn't like if you hear a Fordan say, you should do what I say instead of what a professional player says. You roll your eyes back and you say, oh, okay, sure. But so it's the same with this. The AI is almost always totally right, unless it's like too low playouts and you don't give it a chance to think, basically. And the key here is you have to realize that AI concepts are not very difficult to understand. There's usually very, very simple explanations for everything, and it's very rarely that the AI rarely gives you anything where it's a concrete like 50 move sequence or 15 move sequence where it's bad at the end of that and there's no way to know. The AI is almost always there's always something. It's almost always very, very simple, like stuff like the thickness principle we discuss, the defender's advantage we discuss, those sorts of ideas. They're all very simple ideas. They require very little reading or complex reading, and it's like, for example, here a black needs to go into the corner, get away from the white thickness with that one stone that's captured, and transition into the corner, and let white capture the stone, go to the corner, let white surround some thickness territory, and then just go. Move on with the game. And so if black plays as in the game, tries to live in between white's very thick areas, and then AI gives it a bad mark, and it all makes sense. It's a very, very easy thing to say. And then you say, okay, well, I still don't understand. So the white group clearly has a lot of problems, blah blah blah. And so here you're like, oh, okay, this is very easy. So I thought white was very kind of weak. This move is a Sente move. I thought I could counterattack white very strongly and everything. And it turns out in the game that I couldn't. And so the AI says I couldn't. So, you kind of get the gist, you get the drift very, very close, very, very quickly. And so it's very easy to see how if black lost out on this fighting on the left, and if so, how much. So it's very, very useful. And just remember, it's not that hard to understand. And if you really just can't understand something, you can always move on to the next one. Just with any human teachers too, you don't understand everything your human teachers say either, right? So you can always just go on to something else that you do understand, and this is why it's so preferred by the strong players in the world to use the AI to study. Again, they do it. They take it the whole 9 yards. They play against the AI, and they do the analysis and everything with its help. I can't play with the AI. I will stick with just reviewing my games with the AI. If I were fortunate to go get selected for another big international tournament, I may just take the pain and the unhappiness of playing against the AI and do some training like that, probably. But right now I'm having too much fun with the game as it is, even though as the last video shows, I have made the most fun part of the game, which is playing Go on Fox against opponents from across the world. I have made that into a very painful experience as well by default, and so studying with AI, the most depressing way to learn the game. So, all right, let me know if this actually sounds very depressing, and Let me know if you guys tried this. Let me know if some of the pitfalls and the emotions expressed by the anecdotes mentioned in the article sound like some people you run across, or if you yourself have very similar opinions. And this is very good. Hopefully I will have the mental strength to start to do this again if I have some competitions coming up, or in the meantime I will continue to just have fun playing my games against random opponents, despite running into, of all players, AI botting players sometimes, who are just more and more nowadays online. That's a whole other topic. All right, leave a like and a subscribe. We'll make more of these if you guys like these discussions. See you guys in the next one.